well, this one it got right. Because it can calculate the key, but it's dependent on what notes the singer was singing. It's not looking at the actual 2-track.
Right.
So it's not going to get it right all the time. But this time it actually did. So we can make sure we're on the right key.
And that gives you the key.
That gets us the key. And so if we wanted to go E major, we can click up there to E major, click down to D major. And then if I want to get a little test, I can go down here and say, hey, play me the scale. And so you can kind of get an idea.
Where was that?
So it's right here under these key options. That way you can hear the different types. There's all kinds of wacky different scales that you can choose from. Of course, we want to just keep things traditional.
Right.
D major's fine. So now, if we want to...
This works in everything above essentials, right?
I think it even works in Essential.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Assistant definitely has this. Yeah, Studio is the... It just gives you the multi-track.
I think I have Studio.
If you got Studio, you got the whole shebang, then you can do everything. But yeah, that feature should be available in almost all of them.
Okay.
So we pick the key, we can hear the scale. Now, if we just want to see if we could just globally tune this thing with a macro to see if it gets us in the ballpark, it's worth trying out because it's so efficient if it does work.
Right.
So we can just hit Command A, highlight all the notes. We go up to our correct pitch macro. And now we're going to snap them to D major, and we're also going to drag these up. So when it's moving the notes around, it's moving them all to notes that are in the key of D major. Now it's not a one-size-fits-all, but we want to start there anyway and see how well it does.
Loneliness is a cloak you wear, deep shade of blue is always there.
I am yeah.
Right here we can see that red line is the note of him actually singing.
Right.
The blob is the representation of the average pitch he's hitting during that interval of time. So what we have to do is split that. We have to tell Melodyne, hey, I need that note on its own. Okay.
Is there.
And we need to get him up there to where that B is at because B is in the scale.
Is always there.
Okay, we can still bring this guy up a little bit. Bring this one down a little bit.
Is always there.
Okay, so we tweaked it out a little bit. Okay, we're in good shape there. Now the chorus is where he was really flat. Now the other thing we can do here, we see all this vibrato. Now we kind of like it for this type of project, but a lot of people want that classic auto-tune effect. So we can go to our pitch modulation tool up here, go to something with vibrato, click and drag, flatten out the pitch curve, and now
always there.
That's where we can get that classic share effect auto-tune sound. Of course, we don't want that for this, but that's where the tool is at. But let's see how it did on the chorus where he was really noticeably flat.
The sun ain't gonna shine anymore.
So this first note, it quantized it to the pitch below because that's the one he was closest to. It's gonna be closer up.
The sun ain't gonna shine anymore. The moon ain't gonna rise in the sky.
Right there we would need to do a split so we hear that change. But we can see where the split needs to occur because of the nature of the pitch curve. So we'll split it right there.
And so that's a pitch curve now, not vibrato.
That's right, it's the pitch curve. The red line is the notes he actually sang, and then here it would be, well, it's the pitch curve, but we see the vibrato with it.
Okay.
So the things he actually sang are that line. The blobs are just, they give us control over that segment.
In the sky, the sky.
So it really needs to be down there, and then we need to split it again so that this one can stay down, that one goes up. The splitting of the notes is really the key to making this thing work.
The sky. The sky.
There we go. And now let me get it so we can hear our track here as well.
The sun ain't gonna shine anymore.
So he's a little sharp there.
The sun ain't gonna.
And we can see that in the pitch curve. He's kind of getting up there to.
The sun ain't gonna shine anymore. The moon ain't gonna. The moon
really wants to be down there.
The sun ain't gonna shine anymore. The moon ain't gonna rise in the sky. The tears are always clouding your eyes when you're without love.
It did okay on the global one there, and if we hear it without,
the sun ain't gonna shine anymore.
it's just under.
The moon ain't gonna rise in the sky. The tears are always clouding your eyes when you're without love.
It's just tightening him up a little bit.
So, pitch versus vibrato. Like is that pitch?
That's right. So this would be his vibrato right there, where we can see it wavering. Yep, exactly right.
So when we were back there, that was pitch, right?
Well, the red line is all his pitch. The red line is all just
right, because vibrato does.
Yeah, it's gonna waver.
Okay.
And so the blob is giving us